how global finance really works, because they're like, let me give you a list of the wealthiest people in the world. And you're like, oh, the Rothschilds aren't on there. I think your list might be missing a handful of people, dude. Like the richest people they're not on the fucking list. No. You know what I mean? Like these guys that they're just not on the list. The real actual wealthiest people in the world.
Yeah. Well, the truth is, dude, is that, there's a lot of the Jews. And I push back. I go, they're middle management, man. There's people above that. And we've talked about this on the show before. We had a guy named Jay Dyer on, who's a good friend of mine, Crusher. He just blew my mind about the British Empire, dude. I don't think the British Empire lost. I don't think they lost the Revolutionary War. I think they just made us think we did it, so we run everything, and they just cash checks. I think they still run Israel, and they for sure run Saudi Arabia. For sure. And these black nobility motherfuckers are above everybody. Nobody even talks about them, bro. And
I don't even know who that is.
Yeah, the black nobility are old banking families from Rome. They're Babylonian money magic guys, and they're way above everything. And that's why when people are always like, "Oh, the Jews," I'm like, there were people running shit before the Jews, before the Abrahamic religions, before those people still run shit. Okay,
yeah.
And that's why when Ian Carroll, we talked about the last time on the last episode, when he did his whole thing about who owns BlackRock. And it goes to Merrill Lynch, and then who owns most of Merrill Lynch is Bank of America, and nobody talks about Bank of America. Everyone's focusing on Chase Bank because that's what they want you to look at. Oh, Chase Bank, bad guys. Why Bank of America owns the biggest chunk of
BlackRock?
Yeah. Huh. And it goes all the way to old banking families of Italy.
My thought is, though, what is it? Okay, so if I know who owns BlackRock, what practical effect does that have on BlackRock? Do you know what I'm saying? I can't do anything about it. What am I going to boycott?
It kind of just... Well, to me, it kind of just lets you know the real balance of power. So while you're yelling about Jews the whole time, you don't realize there's levels above that.
That's a different thing.
And that is just part of the psyop to get us all to fight with each other.
Because I don't think that. Yeah, I don't think the.
Well, it's like they
don't care.
It's like the Federal Reserve, which is like if someone put a value on the Federal Reserve. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? It creates all the money. Yeah. There's not there is no value to put on it. It's whatever it wants it to be. And they're like, well, how do it's a private organization? And they're like, well, who owns it? And they're like, oh, well, it's public. You can just see exactly who owns it. You're all, yeah, but how much do they own? You can see who owns it. And there's I can't even remember, 1,700 fucking member banks, but you can never see percentages, right? So if cool, fucking Bear Stearns owns 0.00001%. It's like if there is some group that's on the Federal Reserve cap table that owns 20% of the Federal Reserve, you would never know. You would never know because no one has any idea what the percentages actually are. You only get to see this gigantic list that makes no sense to anybody of who all of the member banks are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, here's the whole thing. The Federal Reserve is the funds everything you hate in the world. Everything you despise in the world is funded by Federal Reserve Babylonian money magic. They create money from nothing. They hand it to everybody, and then it funnels down to fucking Drag Queen Story Hour, fucking war, terrorism, shitty shows on Disney. All that stuff is possible because this Fed funny money cleans up all the red, cleans it all. They use they've created monopoly money and bribed the world with it. Bribe the entire fucking world with it. And all this shit's possible, dude. All of it is possible through this bullshit of the Fed. And this is why they want you dumb. This is why they want you not to be able to know how your government works. Because if people woke up and they would realize, oh, this debt that we owed are just 1s and 2 binary code, and we can just tell them to fuck off. And then we don't owe them anything. But we play the game. As long as we play the game, we owe them money until we go, hey, dude, fuck you. Fuck you. Now, Trump just supposedly there's a lot. Again, I think they're creating this thing where you're never going to really know what is really happening. You'll never really know. And again, we're getting to the point back to where, what is facts? Do we have facts? You're not going to really know something's a fact unless it happens to you right in front of your face, right? So is there a fact? Well, I think we're getting to the point where it's like, well, they're your view on that fact. And that's more important than anything. So Trump and this Palestinian Gaza ceasefire that everyone is so excited about. Now they're saying there's all these things, these backdoor deals they gave them, like, oh, you can just go nuts over here. And we'll see what happens. But there's some real talk that Trump is thinking about getting rid of the IRS and getting rid of the Fed. Now, you do that?
Yeah.
Bro,
You're the greatest human being that ever lived.
I will wear a MAGA hat for the rest of my life. I will get MAGA tattooed on my forehead, bro. If
I was just gonna say, maybe that chick, that the Trump on the forehead, or MAGA on the forehead, she might have been ahead of the curve if he actually fucking did that.
Yeah, 100%.
Now everyone's screaming at us, listening. You do trust him? I don't trust any of these dudes.
No, we said if that word means something. If.
I mean, he's got to be watching that guy in Argentina just completely flip that country, getting rid of their centralized bank and getting rid of just slashing government jobs. That's the biggest problem, dude.